Okay. Hello, kids. It is time for Badass Movie Time. Normally when I do this show, I would... Does that look good? Let's fix the camera. Normally when I do this, I want to talk about... I don't know, like movies that I've been watching, movies that I'm currently interested in. But today we're going to do something a little bit different. We are going to talk about some upcoming movies that how do I put this? I should be thrilled. I should be thrilled with the movies that are coming out this year. I believe they're both coming out. Or all three are coming out. Maybe this or next year. And soon. In the next couple of years, we should be getting... We're going to talk about 3 different movies today. And I feel like I should be excited about these. But I'm not quite there yet. So let's take a look at this. I posted a little bit about the first movie we're going to talk about on Facebook earlier in the week. And we've been, the horror movie guys and we've been discussing this stuff. We're interested, right? But I don't know if we're as interested as they want us to be. So let's take a look here. The first thing I wanted to talk about was the Sweet Revenge trailer came out. This movie will be coming out next month on the 13th, which, I love Friday the 13th. But before we watch the trailer, before we talk too much about this, I want to talk, and I touched on this on the last episode of Badass Movie Time. We talked about the Return of the Living Dead stuff, and we're going to go way further into Return of the Living Dead today as well. Return of the Living Dead and Friday the 13th are 2 of my all-time favorite, movie series. Well, I shouldn't even say series. The original 3 Return of the Living Dead, so the original trilogy to Return of the Living Dead is really good to me. And Friday the 13th as a series is really fun and good. And there's a lot there to talk about. I could do a whole episode of Badass Movie Time just talking about Jason. And how the ups and downs of the series. And how Miramax got a hold of it and they did... Jason Goes to Hell and what they were doing with that and were they fucking with the series because they were the house of Freddy or there's all this stuff there, but then they did Miramax did Jason X and that movie's fantastic, so it's you don't know really. It's been a while since we've had a Friday the 13th movie, and I believe it was due to a loss. Well, I didn't pull that up. Hold on, let's talk about this. So, Platinum Dunes, if you guys don't know what that is, they were a company that would do remakes. They did the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, they did a Friday the 13th remake. They would take these old slasher movies that were 20 years old at the time, now they're, pushing 40, and they would remake these movies, and they were weird, man. Not a big Platinum Dunes guy, but I kind of like the Friday the 13th remake. And that was the last one we got. So let's look this up. Friday the 13th series lawsuit. Both universes that we're going to be talking about today have crazy lawsuits. So the Friday the 13th lawsuit primarily centered on the ownership of the original film's screenplay rights, with writer Victor Miller ultimately winning the case and reclaiming the U.S. rights to elements of his original script, including the Camp Crystal Lake name and the Jason Voorhees name. While Miller won control over these elements, Sean S. Cunningham, the original film's producer and director, retains rights to the adult Jason Voorhees character in the hockey mask and machete. This split ownership means that while the lawsuit has concluded and new content is now possible, a formal resolution between Miller and Cunningham is still needed to create new projects under the Friday the 13th banner. So basically, the judge ruled in favor of Victor Miller. Victor Miller gets to keep the screenplay, but Sean S. Cunningham still has Jason, which it's mind-boggling to me that these 2 guys can't just work together. They created something a long time ago. It's greed. It comes down to greed. So that's why there hasn't been a Friday the 13th movie in a long time. I mean, I went to the theater to watch the Platinum Dunes remake. And we could talk about Platinum Dunes one day too. That could be fun. Uh, fucking atrocious. That Nightmare on Elm Street remake is one of the worst remakes I've ever seen in a movie. Man, it was bad. Okay, this makes sense. So they're calling this the Jason universe because I don't think Cunningham or Miller have anything to do with this shit. That's why they're calling this movie Sweet Revenge. They can't call it Friday the 13th. And the reason I'm skeptical is I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but there's a whole slew of fan fiction Jason movies. It's a lot of fun. In fact, I have. Last time you have to look at my stupid face, I think. No, I'll probably look up more stuff. I have a playlist on my personal channel of all this bullshit. It's so crazy. I waited forever for Neon Fear to come out, and I don't know if you guys remember. I was talking smack about did I say I called him? I just said his first name, Brandon. He worked on this movie. I watched this and I saw him in the credits. And I was like, hey, it's a crackhead from Dollface. Thought that was funny. Anyways, terrible movie. But these are all fan-made Jason movies. And I think it would be so cool to try and do my own Jason movie. Kind of paying tribute to all these awesome directors and filmmakers who are just like, I'm going to just make a Jason movie and I'm not going to make any money. I think some of these have made money, though. But, yeah. Roy, Chapter 1. There's a whole series of Roy movies. Roy was the Jason Voorhees imposter in Friday the 13th, Part 5. They got Tom Matthews to be in Never Hike Alone, I think. Or he's in one of these. I don't know. These are a lot of fun. Tom Matthews, who was in the original Return of the Living Dead, he was in one of these fan fiction Friday the 13th movies. I didn't know this was a thing until probably like 2006, 2007. There's this weirdo. I went to this, I'd go on this forum all the time, and that's how I met like Sonny Fernandez and all these cool people, Larry and Mitch. What's up, guys? Oh, Mitch might be watching this. Mitch is my boy. They're like my big brothers, like as far as like introducing me to some really cool movies, and we just talk horror movies. I worked in a warehouse late in the night, so I'd always have that forum pulled up while I was doing my Excel spreadsheets for the Colonel the next morning. And there's this weirdo named William Patterson, and he made a movie called Mother's Day, and he had written these Friday the 13th novels for teenagers in like the 80s or 90s. He was a weirdo. And so I was like, wow, people are just making Jason movies. And 2009, they did the Friday the 13th remake, and a lot of horror fans were split on that. And I remember there was a big argument on this message board about Kane Hodder being a creep, and I was like, hey, it sounds like you kind of like were flirting with him and you gave him the wrong idea to this one girl, and she got so mad, and she's like, this remake is an atrocity. I've always said Friday the 13th, as much as I love it, it's fun, it's not something sacred. I was okay with Miramax fucking with it. I was okay with them. But when Miramax got the rights to it, they made a movie. They just made a movie and released it, right? So this universe stuff, it's very much in the vein of what Disney has been doing with Star Wars and Marvel, right? They're taking a note from Disney. But the problem with that is it's become oversaturated. It's garbage. It's all this crap is coming out, and it's hard to keep up with. It's hard to get excited about some of this stuff, especially Star Wars. Like, there's so many shows. There's no way to keep... Like, I love The Mandalorian. The first season of Mandalorian blew me away. By the end of season 3, I was kind of done with The Mandalorian. I don't know if it has anything to do with my age or what, but it's kind of just... They're creating a product more than, like, a piece of art, right? They're making this Marvel, like, I watched Iron Man, and I was like, oh, cool, this might be a fun series, like, let's get into Avengers and stuff. I watched the first and last movie. I might have watched 1 or 2 movies in that, but there's like 32 Marvel movies in the MCU that I never bothered with, because it's too much. It's too much crap. So, a Jason universe is a cool idea, and if they can put some movies out, I'm all for that. And I get why they're calling it the Jason universe, because of the rights issues with the original title and all that. So here's a website. This isn't as bad as the Return of the Living Dead stuff yet. They are doing a Peacock show. And who's making this? So Victor Miller is doing this Camp Crystal Lake show, and they're talking about it on here. I don't know what Cunningham is working on. I love her. She was on Freaks and Geeks, and she's Thelma and Scooby-Doo. She's going to be playing Pam Voorhees. But the reason Miller's doing this show is they're going back to when Jason was a kid. He can't have the hockey mask according to what the judge ruled. But I don't think that has anything to do with the... I guess they're going to talk about all stuff on this website, which is kind of cool. But they have a shirt and a mug, that's okay. That's not too much stuff. It's not terrible yet, okay? But there's their website. Interesting stuff. We will definitely be covering more of this in the future. Let's check out this trailer really quick. It's 48 seconds.
You all settled in?
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, look at this.
You got a beautiful spot here.
The property's had a bit of a troubled past.
What kind of trouble?
Well, you know, the usual story. Revenge.
What happened?
Anyway, you kids have fun.
That looks cool. It's. I think it's gonna be 13 minutes. They're being cute with the 13 stuff. That looks kind of cool. I'm interested. I don't like the Jason Universe aspect of it, but I'll be watching that. It's I don't even know how to say the word. Vignetti? It's a fucking short. It's going to be a 13-minute short. And I think this is to get... If you look at it, it does kind of look like these other fan-made films. And it kind of is. It's just a higher produced fan-made film. I like the name, The Sweet Revenge. The thing that would sell me on this, guys, I'll tell you right now, the thing that would really sell me is if they called it, or if they had the System of a Down, My Sweet Revenge song play in it. That would be magical. One can dream, right? And then this came out a couple months ago. This is just...
Performing on the biggest stage in the world was just one step in my journey.
Nobody knows who you are.
Hi, I'm...
Sorry. This is just the mask and everything, which they must have gotten permission to use a mask. I know I'm not the only one that's skeptical on this stuff, though. Let's see. Really, is that what they're going with now? Happy for it. The game needs to come back from the dead, just like Jason. Yeah, people are really upset the game's gone. Manfredini is still involved. That's cool. Everybody's asking for the game. I mean, if they have the rights to... It looks like they have some rights to things. This Jason Universe thing can be really cool if they can figure out how to get Miller and Cunningham to use their ownership stuff together, right? That would be great to bring the game back or make a new one. I loved the Friday the 13th game. I mean, people loved it so much that... that was... Since 2009. It's almost been 20 years, you know. We're at 17 years with no Jason, so... Is that a terrible thing? Not necessarily. There's 12 movies if you count Freddy vs. Jason in the remake. There's 10 movies in the main series. It has been done. And what I said was, this is cool, but there's a lot of resources, a lot of money, a lot of time going into this. At least there's not like a bunch of Kickstarters and bullshit. Like it looks like the people who are doing this have what they need to do it and achieve it. So we'll keep an eye out. We'll definitely check out that Sweet Revenge movie on Badass Movie Time. I think that'd be fun. All right, guys, let's get to the Return of the Living Dead stuff. I touched on this last episode. This is Trash's Revenge. And I guess now there's going to be a video game. We'll watch this here in a second. But I kind of talked about this a little bit. This is very, like... Is Linnea Quigley doing all this stuff, like, at home? Like, this is crazy. There's a lot here going on. Both parties are guilty of this. There's 2 Return of the Living Dead movies being produced right now. Or attempting to be produced. I don't know how far along they are, and I've expressed that I'm probably more interested in the Steve Walsh or whatever movie, the Return of the Living Dead 2025. I'm probably more interested in that than Trash's Revenge. This is the actors coming out and being like, we want to make this movie. So it's the 40th anniversary. If you wanted to fight the Living Dead, now's your chance. So they're going to do a video game, I guess. So it's going to be called More Brains, Assault on Unita. Okay. This is not a fan film. It's a film for the fans. Trash's Revenge is an official Return of the Living Dead production from Dragon Studios. The copyright owner is offering fans a unique chance to be part of the Return of the Living Dead universe. So they're calling it a fucking universe. There's all these perks. I've never been a big fan of Kickstarter. I think it's a bunch of bullshit. It's how people raise money, but yeah. I mentioned Disney, so they're trying to be the anti-Disney, the micro-budget film studio, the official YouTube channel. This is so tacky. This is so tacky looking to me. But this is Dragonflix. They're definitely they're doing the universes. They're gonna do Return of the Living Dead universe, and there's some dumb videos. I forgot which one I watched, and I was just like, what the fuck? I think it was this one. I'm doing commentary, so leave me alone. You don't have to block my fucking video. Here, I use the music at the beginning. But here's Linnea.
Announce that the pre-launch for we are proud to announce that the pre-launch for Trash's Revenge, part of the Return of the Living Dead universe, is going to be November 8th. Friday, November 8th. Put that on your calendar. And it's through Cinebacker.com. You don't want to miss this.
This isn't the video I saw. That was them getting the Cinebacker ready. Was it this one? Oh, it was this one. This shit, dude. So we're doing Michael Jackson, which was a joke in Return of the Living Dead 2. Yeah, this is the one I watched and I went, fuck this movie. So they got their backer, and I guess this is kind of like the website for them right now. I did want to check out the video game though. I haven't watched the trailer to the video game, but it looks like they're trying to get all the actors from the original, which is kind of interesting. Oh, they did a Driller Killer too. There's a lot of stuff coming out that is like fans. I wasn't alive when Return of the Living Dead came out, so if I did a Return of the Living Dead movie, it'd be kind of weird. And I have a feeling a lot of these dudes working on the Jason universe and stuff. I'm 40, and Return of the Living Dead's older than me. So.
You thought the nightmare was over, but the dead have other plans.
All right.
The gas is loose. Unida medical supply is breached. Brains are back on the menu.
I mean, I'm all for this, guys.
From the world of Return of the Living Dead comes the official game. More Brains. Assault on Anita. Fight through waves of undead in this cult horror tribute. Iconic zombies. Brutal gore. And yes, they still want more brain.
I mean, that looks pretty cool. But isn't something like this... Is this gonna... I don't know, man. I'm not I'm not financially successful as a filmmaker, but I feel like if I did have success and I had the rights to something that I loved a lot... Well, I love Return of the Living Dead, and I would not make a Return of the Living Dead movie. Fuck that. I would make my own zombie movie and call it something new. But, I love Resident Evil. If somebody was like, Andrew, you can make a Resident Evil movie, I would go, can I just make... Let's use the money that we'd spend on the stupid title and fucking make our own title, make our own zombie. Let's make something new. You can make a zombie movie with zombies eating... I mean, they're gonna call it Trash's Revenge, but... I feel like this is a detraction from what they're setting out to do. You can't just fart out a universe. A universe should be grown organically, right? Like, you gotta start with a movie. And they can say, well, we have Return of the Living Dead. Well, you didn't. You were a fucking actress on Return of the Living Dead. What is this crap? What is this? I'm not, watching this getting stoked. I'm watching this going, uh-oh. I mean, that is awful. Your whole basis of your company is to shit on Disney, almost. Right? That's not good. Yeah, man. Now, this isn't much better. I did express that I'm slightly more interested in this movie, but that looks bad. I'm not even going to click play. You can watch the announcement trailer. I think I played it, or I talked about it last time. It's the Tarman. It's a rubber Tarman dragging a Christmas tree. He looks okay, in movement, but, so this is the other Return of the Living Dead movie coming out. We talked about this a little bit. There's your director from with an O Productions and Tony Gardner. I mean, I think this guy, he worked on the original Return of the Living Dead, didn't he? But they haven't shown shit for this, and they're selling even more merch than Trash's Revenge. They didn't do a video game. Fortunately, I think these guys are actually making a movie. I don't think Trash's Revenge is in production yet. I could be wrong. I don't know if these guys are actually making a movie. It's confusing right now. I'm following it, I'm watching it, but I don't know. But if you go, this website has been around they've been selling this shit for a while. They got the rights and then just started selling all this bullshit. I mean, it's endless, dude. There's pillows. There's they made a tabletop game. There's action figures. All this shit for a movie that hasn't even been made yet. And it's cashing in on the original Return of the Living Dead. So this is kind of fucking insulting to fans of the series as well, in my opinion. So these idiots got the rights to something, and now they're... there's nobody... Yeah, dude. With an O Productions. And all we got that weird trailer. We got the weird trailer on Christmas, and I was like, what the fuck? And we got some making of stuff for the trailer. This isn't for the movie. And then on April Fool's, they did their little joke. And I thought they originally advertised. They later on came out to be like, this is just a joke. But it started as the Return of the Living Dead official trailer. I was like, did they actually finish the movie? I don't know where they're at. I don't know what's going on. I've checked everything. It looks like we got the weird Tarman dragging a tree through the graveyard. So to wrap this episode up, I'm going to try and watch a good chunk of this live Q&A with Steve Walsh. Evil Genius Games is doing this. And we are going to pause and talk about it so I don't get in trouble for copyright. But here we go.
Live Q&A for Return of the Living Dead Kickstarter, and I'm really happy.
So Walsh is the director. He's made some movies I've never heard of, which is okay. I'm okay with a smaller director doing a Return of the Living Dead. I think it might be interesting. It could be really good if he does it right.
the ultimate,
I also have not watched this interview yet, so you can get a live reaction out of me.
the ultimate guest on right now, the actual owner of the franchise, the person who runs the shows, my boss.
I thought Linnea Quigley just said that she was the fucking boss. She owned the rights to Return of the Living Dead. This is
When it comes to this
confusing.
particular game, Mr. Steve Wall. Steve, welcome to the show.
Hey, everybody.
Alrighty, so before we get started, we're just going to have a little bit of fun and take a look at where we are with the actual Kickstarter itself. So just give me a second while I cue things up. And then also make sure that everyone knows where we are and what is going on. So we're going to do that as well. Cops and cops can be zombies in this world. And then, of course...
So they're talking about the tabletop game now.
Pull together,
And there's a
this
Kickstarter
amazing
for this.
Kickstarter.
Yeah.
At the time, I mean, we had no social media.
You know, at least, right? Yeah, just sort of excited about the 40th anniversary of Return of the Living Dead. You know, tell me what that means to you, the 40th anniversary.
You know, it's funny. So I kind of started doing this almost 10 years ago in 2017, 16. And at the time, I mean, we had no social media. There was a lot of licensees that told us it wasn't a big enough brand to do certain kind of things.
Yeah, they were probably right.
I won't name any names, but now they're licensees now. And we've kind of done all that through just essentially harnessing all the fans. Like we kind of show a force of, you know, we got to 100,000 on Facebook, and we have almost 30,000 now on Instagram. And we just collected all these different licensees, and I really went after people that were doing cool stuff, new stuff.
Okay, so what he's saying is they got the rights in around 2016, 2017, and I think that's kind of cool because it's been almost 10 years, and they're trying to back the license with fans. So that kind of explains the cash grab, I guess. If they're doing it to make a really cool movie, I can get behind that. And that's a lot of fucking work that they've done. And I'm assuming he's probably been doing other movies while trying to get that going. I don't hate that.
But every time I talk to anyone, you know, it's like, hey, do you want to do something with t-shirts? Do you want to do something this?
Also, he's not calling anything the universe. He wants to make a Return of the Living Dead movie, as far as I can tell. He definitely wants to cash in on the fandom from the 80s stuff. But if he's doing that for the sake of making a cool movie, I haven't seen a cool movie yet, so I'm still going to be skeptical, okay? But this is the one that I'm kind of like, okay, maybe this could be cool. It's still Tarman dragging a fucking Christmas tree through a graveyard. That's all I've gotten so far. And a bunch of products that I don't care about.
Are always like, this is my favorite movie of all time. I'm wearing
Yeah.
a shirt right now. Why isn't there more stuff? And we just kind of like harnessed all that energy and really showed people like, all right, this thing is, you know, everyone loves this movie and there should be more stuff. And everyone, Tarman's evergreen. You know, everyone needs another Tarman t-shirt every single year. And through doing that, not even like new content, new, you know, video games, movies, all that stuff, we just kind of like raised the Q level of this brand just through showing people and giving them somewhere to go to say like, hey, I love this. And now we do everything. I mean, we've done, I grabbed these to show, these are my,
Oh my goodness.
These are my Tar Force ones. Bull Air did this, a special drop limited. There's only 100 of them. They're like $5.50 a
Holy
piece.
cow.
But this is a Nike Air Force One done like Tarman.
I mean, that's fucking cool. But you know what would be cooler than those stupid shoes? A fucking movie.
And we did a bunch of those. And we're doing another set of those at some point this year. Different shoe, but same kind of idea. So, like, going back to your question, 10 years ago, 9 years ago, I wasn't even thinking about the 40th anniversary. It was just kind of like, man, this franchise that everyone loves has been just sitting dormant. No one's really taking the reins of it, and we just need
Not true. You have the actors and actors, the people who did on the original Return of the Living Dead try to take the rights from you.
to, you know, show and tell everyone like what it means to people and give them a place to go on social media, give them outlets, and then we've collected all these awesome projects and licensees and done all these things. This project now.
Now, he's bullshitting a little bit. It's hard to sit there and admit what you've been doing for almost the last 10 years. I can understand that you're trying to raise, awareness and stuff. Do you know what would bring the series back faster and better than anything? To take all that time, all those resources that you put into making Tarman Air Force Ones and make a fucking movie, dude.
And it's all kind of leading up to, new content. The comic book's doing really well. We have this game obviously working on now. We have other things.
Yeah, this could all be towards a movie.
Other media and then a new movie, and just kind of putting it in the place it should be with big horror franchises, because I think people love the movie and think of Tarman the same way they think of Michael Myers or Jason or anything else, and it's just been a lot of fun to try to bring cool stuff. We always joke it's for the kids. Everything we do is for the kids. That's kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing. Kids love,
It's for the kids' parents' fucking money, dude.
Zombies and horror and blood and guts and all those things, but also just the kid and everyone. But we always joke this is for the kids. Tony and Gardner and I'm working on, the new.
The kids would probably appreciate a new movie.
Special effects, the new Tarman, and it's always it's got to be more of this for the kids. They're gonna dig this. That's what we do. Spend a lot of time, awesome new design or new product they've never seen, and then
Yep, still talking about products.
And within the Tarp Force One, what are a couple of your other favorite licenses that?
After talking to Nick and stuff, was just so passionate about.
But the trailer is awesome, Steve. Tarman. First of all, Tarman looks like a badass.
He does look pretty good.
Number two is it's a Christmas movie, which is yes, please.
I'm okay with that too.
And it just looks fantastic.
It
It
has the potential to be fantastic.
People, it's not even a trailer. It's we could have done a teaser poster, and instead we did that. I mean, it's just it was just kind of like a metaphor of Tarman kind of comes from the dark, and he's coming through this cemetery, and he's dragging a Christmas tree, and then he goes where you don't know where he goes next. And the idea was just kind of announce it that way, but show you the elements. So, no CGI. It takes place in 1985. It's going to be in a blizzard in a small town in Pennsylvania, and just we shot that in November in Simi Valley. It wasn't, there was. It doesn't snow there ever. It's kind of very dry, kind of almost wasteland, and we turned it into
The aliens.
Yeah, and I mean, and everything in there we built, we built that.
So it's not even a teaser. He even admitted it's not a trailer. So there's no movie. Are they even working on a movie? It looks like they're working on a tabletop game. Are we actually going to get a movie this year? I don't know.
At Graveyard, just like they did in the first movie, there's no actual graveyard. The first movie, they built that. That wasn't a graveyard. We knew or different. But you can get the soundtrack lots of different ways, and
Yep.
get clean audio tracks because it just to try.
What do you want to achieve?
I mean, so I hope that people that have never seen it can watch it and love it, and I hope that people that love the first film can watch it and catch all Easter eggs and feel.
I think we're capable of doing that without anything that you've done so far. I don't think you buying the license and gatekeeping it, isn't an admirable endeavor, in my opinion.
It's
Those movies are already available.
They love, they want to see, but we're in no way trying to recreate, remake, not even reboot. It's a new story in this world that we hope if you
Which
like
I can
the old one,
appreciate
you'll like
that.
this one. I knew the whole time going into everything from the first time we talked about it. We can't try to recreate any of those characters.
No.
Like, there's no, it's a no-win situation. You know, like that was magic, lightning in a bottle, and you can like give you something new that I feel like people that like that can like this, but it's not trying to, you know, give you a new trash or like tell you the same story or trying to, you know.
I definitely appreciate the fact that both Return of the Living Dead movies are trying to do sequels.
The world of Return of the Living Dead, with the rules as they stand, it is a new story in that environment 18 months after the last.
That's cool. I'm okay with that. Like that's not bad.
It's you won't have to be like, oh man, I don't like how they did this or recreated this. Like we like in my mind, the next movie doesn't have to be in the 80s. It could be the 90s. It could be present day. It could be in the 70s. Like there, we kind of
prequel would be cool.
A story of since the inception of Troxin to present day, and we have a whole Bible of characters and events and things that have happened, and we can kind of like go anywhere on that timeline and find things we could find interesting for a comic book, graphic novel, a video game, another movie, and it was just really important to kind of like know where everything fits together and have a history. So like ideas in the 80s, but I think in the future they at least can be working on some better ideas than just blowing up a town. If nothing else, today's climate and social media, whatever, you can just like, say there was a gas explosion in some little town, and everyone's like, oh yeah, I guess that's what happened. So that is, it does get addressed potentially in the future, but you go, before Return, kind of downers in a lot of ways, or at least not like Dan O'Bannon made this movie a lot of fun, and I tend to gravitate to big sci-fi movies. Like one of my favorite movies is like, well, my favorite movies ever is Jaws, but like the
that's
Alien, and obviously there's a Dan O'Bannon.
Jaws is a lot of filmmakers' favorite movie of all time. It's so good.
I remember.
I love Jaws too.
Thinking that there was things that like made sense to me, that I liked from Alien, and then it was later I go like, oh yeah, they're both by Dan O'Bannon. Like,
yeah.
Those, like there's that made sense.
Okay.
So I think you're absolutely right. It's interesting because you talk about Dan O'Bannon and him being involved in Aliens, and Aliens also, I think, to some degree, really sort of redefined horror. And very
actual thing than trying to make like a zombie super soldier and put zombies like as soldiers. Just like that's not where we're going now. Like we're not looking to.
Well, I liked when Brian Usna did that. Okay. This is great. Check out the interview. You can go to Evil Genius Games.
Get ready for the most action-packed...
Is this the guy who's making the tabletop game? Oh no, I'm confused because he was calling the director of the Return of the Living Dead 2025 his boss, but whatever. It's at Evil Genius Games, though, the interview. I guess we can wrap up what we're doing here. So basically, we got a Jason universe. They can't call it Friday the 13th universe, but I think Jason universe actually sounds better as far as if you're going to call it a fucking universe. I think some of this stuff is nonsense. All three parties are guilty of... Actually, both Return of the Living Dead parties are guilty of this oversaturation shit that I can't stand. I don't need toys. I want a Return of the Living Dead movie. The last two movies we got were garbage. All you have to do is make a solid movie. I think both parties have the right idea of we're not recreating, we're not rebooting, we're doing sequels. I don't even mind that it's going to take place shortly after in the 80s. I don't think that's a terrible idea. I think that's fine. I like the snow aspect of it. That could be interesting, kind of. Wouldn't the zombies just freeze? Maybe not. Maybe not. What do I know? That's fine. You know, the Christmas aspect is interesting. It doesn't look like they have a movie. I don't. That interview was recent. It doesn't look like they've made a movie yet, and we're in July. But they did do that trailer in November, and it was out within a month. So maybe they'll do. I mean, it takes. You can do a movie in like a month or two, maybe 3 months if you have money. It's not a lot of time. They might be working on it. I don't know. It doesn't look like Trash's Revenge has anything, and it looks like both the Return of the Living Dead properties or companies or whatever, both Return of the Living Dead movies are trying to sell you guys stuff and do Kickstarters and earn money to make these movies. Nobody has a movie. So Jason Universe, they got a movie, but it's short, but that's okay. They created a movie though. And they're going to give you an idea of what they want to do and where they want to go with what they've purchased license-wise. I don't think it's a good idea to be trying to get licenses. I get what he's doing. He's earning money for the movie by using what's already been established. And then both parties are fighting with each other over more rights and more money. And they're bickering and fighting. And the actors are saying, this is our movie. And it's like, well, no, it's not. You were an actor in this movie. And he obviously has enough money to have purchased the license when nobody cared about it, and he is building it up. And I think it's kind of shitty for this guy to get the rights to something that nobody cared about, and now everybody cares about it because he's successfully earning money with his bullshit. It's an interesting thing. It's really interesting. But... And Return of the Living Dead's one of my all-time favorite movies. Friday the 13th is my favorite slasher. I love these things, and I feel like they're kind of being fucked with a little bit. None of this can ruin what I've already enjoyed in the past, and it might just be complete fucking garbage, and I might not ever talk about it again, you know? Or we might get a really cool movie. So, I mean, that's really the only thing I care about. I don't need a Tarman pillow. I don't need Air Force One. I mean, those shoes were sick, but you can go on and you can make custom shoes and spend $300 on a pair of Air Force Ones and have them custom made. You know, like, I don't even think those shoes are available, are they? Like, I think he made those, you know. It's cool. It's fun stuff. I do like toys, and I got my Toxic Avenger Mego thing up there, which is cool. You know, I like that stuff, but that's not... You make a movie... If you're putting all this time and resources into making a tabletop game and a video game and all that, why don't you just make the fucking movie? Make a low-budget movie. If it does well, the next one can be better. He's talking about making sequels, right? Isn't that what people love? They love the movie. They don't... It's not Star Wars, man. And all that extra shit for Star Wars is pointless. It doesn't... The movie is so good that you like the product. So you make your movie and then you sell the product. And then you cash in. It'd be a little less, like, stock car weird behavior. He's worried about licenses and shit. Fucking make the movie, dude. And I'm fully aware that it takes a lot of time and resources to produce and make a good-looking movie. It doesn't have to be the best movie ever, though. You just make a movie, and then you start doing this shit. It's weird. At least the Jason universe has a movie. That's all I can say right now. Their other stuff is fucking... You got a CGI skeleton dancing. They're taking shots at each other. There's lawsuits. It's so stupid to me. If I... like I said, if I had the rights to Friday the 13th, I wouldn't even have the rights. I wouldn't have the rights to either of those things. I wouldn't want to make either... If I made a Jason movie, I'd do a Jason fan film. That looks more fun to me than, like, actually acquiring rights to anything and having to fucking... Oh, I have to skirt around Miller and Cunningham, you know, like, oh, this guy has the title, this guy has Camp Crystal. Like, who fucking cares, dude? Make your own slasher. Adam Green, right? Adam Green from Arescope, he made Hatchet, and Hatchet's great. He loves Friday the 13th. He probably wanted to do a Friday the 13th movie when he was a kid, so he did. He made Hatchet. It was good. It was fun. So there you go. That was a lot. I am gonna go take a shower and get ready to go out to town today. I'm gonna leave my house. I've been in my house for like a week now. I left on Saturday. It's Tuesday now, though, so I need to get out for a little bit. Thank you guys for watching. Let me know what you guys think. This is fun to talk about. If anybody wants to correct me, if anybody thinks I'm being too skeptical, or maybe even not skeptical enough, I mean, it looks weird. This stuff looks weird to me. And fans of Return of the Living Dead have been burned pretty hard. We got burned bad in 2005. Like, that was crazy. Alright, I'm out, guys. We'll talk to you later.